So
All
I'm
right,
going to start
I got it.
recording.
I am recording too.
Excellent. So let me talk a little bit about what's in this presentation. What I've done is over the course of the last 2 or 3 months, I visited upwards of probably around 200 speaker sites. And what I've been doing is just sort of looking at best practices both for web and for video. So what this is kind of a culmination of what appears to be the kind of the magic formula for a great speaker video of the best ones that I saw. So I'm going to send tell you a little bit more about that. So one of the things that we know is that anybody who's holding a meeting can absolutely find a great qualified speaker, no problem. There are zillions of them, and anybody can do that. They are absolutely a dime a dozen. So the big paradigm that you have to get around is that they're not hiring you to speak, because that is not the goal of what they're doing. They're hiring you to solve a problem. And if you can show them that you've got a very specific problem that they have that is a really terrible, horrible problem for them, and that you can solve it in a pragmatic way with great advice that's going to engage the audience, you've got them, and you'll be able to bring them in. Now, as we did most of the looking around, what we found is that most speaker videos were just sort of a vanity play, is really all they were.
He was awesome, best speaker I've ever heard.
Yeah, I really appreciated Dan coming again, and sharing his appreciation for all the soldiers coming from Army Ranger, and a shout out to all the Army Rangers out there. Rangers lead the way.
It's the second time I've seen Dan Clark. It was a great experience. He left a great message for all of us. Very inspiring.
I should have the courage to live up to my potential.
Just inspiration to keep going and to know that you have to find your purpose and to continue on in life.
I had an extraordinary experience on October 23rd, 2010, where I had an opportunity to go up into the edge of space in a U-2 reconnaissance aircraft. It's a classified mission, but I can tell you at 70,000 feet, you can see 2/3 of the state of California. At 80,000 feet, you see mapped outlines of America, and at 90,000 feet, you tear up and actually feel like you can reach out and touch the face of God.
And that's very inspirational, but what does Dan actually talk about? Well, he talks about going up in space shuttles. That's cool. But how's that going to help me? Because right now, you just don't know. You just can't tell exactly what Dan is going to do for you. And this is the problem that most of the videos have. They're very cool, and you get a chance to see a lot of people speaking. But what is missing here is, what problem is Dan going to solve for me? Because that meeting planner is showing up and saying, I've got a room full of people that I've got to inspire, and I've got some sort of corporate agenda that I've got to do, and I need to leave with some very pragmatic stuff about what they're going to do. Now, what we found is with most of the demo reels, you have 10 seconds to grab them at the top. And those first 10 seconds, you must prove that you are fascinating, knowledgeable, and most of all, incredibly relevant to the mission that they have for their conference. So most of the videos that we found look a lot like this.
We don't know when the little kind thing we do for someone might make a difference in their entire lives. Are you contagiously enthusiastic? Because if you're not, how do you expect your employees to be? I was asked 5 years ago to speak to 3,000 employees of a large grocery store chain, and they brought everybody. After I'd spoken, I always give my home phone number to every audience. I had a young man who called me, and he told me his name was Johnny, that he was a bagger in one of the stores, and he was a person of Down syndrome. He said, Barbara, I liked what you said. And he said he went home that night and he asked his dad to help him with the computer. And he said we set the computer up into 3 columns. And he said,
so we're a minute in, okay? And we know Barbara's very enthusiastic is what we are, but what exactly is Barbara going to do to motivate me that meets the specific agenda of what's on there? And that's what's missing. This isn't about us. This isn't about anything that we do. What this is about is showing exactly how you are going to move forward with specific and precise information that is going to motivate those people to want to get up and do something differently, that is going to directly influence their lives, make more money, and solve the biggest problems. So as we went through the videos, what I found is there was one guy that was producing these over and over that was doing a pretty amazing job. And his name is Chris West, and he works for a company called Video Narrative. So I gave him a call and talked to him because I loved his videos. Now, the work he does is absolutely outstanding. And I encourage you to go to his website to talk more. Now, his price tag is about 15 grand to do a video for you. So he's kind of spendy. But what I did was just sort of looked at all of his videos and checked out. And what I kind of came up with is Chris has a formula. And what I want to show you is what that formula is today. So these are the 6 steps that they use. And by far, the most important step is the first one. Most of the video should be about you describing the problem, because you need to bond with these people to show that you fully understand the problem and that your presentation will be something that will solve that problem. So let me go through these. Let me go through these one at a time and show you exactly how each of them. So we'll start, first of all, by fully describing the problem. And what I want you to do is watch how they lay it out precisely and quickly.
Helping people understand what you're trying to get them focused on. From a leadership perspective, where you've got product and services, what you're there to do is to help people achieve better results that are of greater impact and value to them. The challenge is, for most of us, we've never defined what's most important among those things we care about. Often I get asked to help them get clear, not just about strategic planning, but strategic alignment of their executive team. The other side is executive coaching. I've been doing that for a very long time before anybody knew what executive coaching was. And a lot of times when you start to work with a leader, the first thing they begin to recognize, my team is not fully aligned. My team is not on the same page. And my team is not driving our organization effectively in alignment with each other. And the first order of business is to figure out, what's your vision? What's your mission? What are your top 3 priorities, your strategic goals this year? And if we don't get the same answer from every single executive, we've got a misalignment.
Oh my God, I have that problem. I have that exact problem in my business. This guy understands me. He gets it. Oh my God, he's going to give me the solution to this. And this is what makes it great. So you'll notice the top, a lot of drama using B-roll cover video, great music composition, and he dwells specifically on that problem. And that's what makes it so incredibly powerful. So now, once you've got that, once you show them that you fully understand their problem, now it's time to move on to the next step. And this is about showing them that you are an insider, that you understand their sector. You're not just some Johnny-come-lately Yahoo speaker that's going to show up and yak for an hour and leave. You're somebody who has been there. You understand their problem, and you want to talk about that problem and how you have dedicated your entire life to solving that problem, because it is the most important thing that you have ever shown. You want to show them you're one of the big boys when it comes to this problem. You are a specialist in this problem.
I started my career by working with senior leaders, helping them sell the most intangible things of all, visions and missions and strategic goals. And what I mean by selling is to help them get clear about what would be most valuable.
And he's going to show exactly how you can do that. Let me show you another example now.
And so that's been my whole career, whether it's been in leadership positions, whether it's been an entrepreneur, whether it's a coach. Today, that's all we do. At the 12-week year, we eat, live, breathe, and sleep all the things about how can we help you get more of what you want faster.
Next, introduce yourself as the guide. You are going to be the one who's going to show them the way. You fully describe exactly what that change model is. Talk them through the plan. Promise them very specifically what's going to happen. how you want them to change. Now, the important thing here is you want to make sure that you don't start too early, because you got to thoroughly talk through that problem first. That's where you'll win their hearts, when you show them that you understand that problem. You want to show them that you have a plan for the client. You want to show them that you're going to bring answers and lay out the steps that they should specifically take. You want to show them the wisdom that you'll bring to it.
Great brands don't squander their precious brand equity by chasing after elusive audiences. Instead, they operate like lighthouses and invite the world to navigate around them.
Brands are not about advertising, they're about actions. You're not just developing an image, you're developing an instrument that creates value for your organization. That's what great brands do. Good is the enemy of great. I encourage you to choose to be great.
And so what she's done now is she has shown me that she's a big deal. Wow, look at her. She's on those national news magazines. Looks like she's been to all kinds of different meetings. She looks like she really knows what she's talking about. And then we move on to the next step. This is about talking them through the change model. Show them exactly how you want them to change. Now, the important thing here, again, don't start too early. Show them that you have a plan. Show them that you're going to bring some answers. And you want to, here in this step, lay out the steps that they'll specifically take.
Are you in agreement in a way that everybody understands the top priorities and uses those as the basis for decision making all the way through the organization? You differentiate yourself, you change the game, you create a different world when you walk into a relationship knowing that my job is to help get them focused on what's most important, what's most valuable to them. And this is why a revolution is needed, because nobody thinks the most important thing for me to do is add value.
Yeah. On to step 5, show them the individual impact of the change. Now, this is where you'll use your testimonials here. Talk about how the audience was moved and motivated. Now, if you don't have testimonials of people that are at conferences and meetings that you haven't shot, then what you want to do is you want to recruit all your friends, okay? Go get a camera with them, line them up, stick them in some boardroom somewhere, and have them go, yes, Adam was amazing, and I can't believe how he changed us. But this can be something that can be shot after the fact. It doesn't have to be done at meetings.
It occurred when I decided to work with Steve, was through his line of questioning to me, it helped me get clear. And so that's the gift he gives you or his clients.
Steve's a very dynamic speaker and presenter, if you will. He gets your thought process going as soon as you sit down. He doesn't make it mundane. He really energizes the room and asks questions and gets people involved right away.
Yeah, I'm sure you know that.
Definitely one of the best presentations I've seen. I mean, the ability that Brian has to take something that's this big, like your 15, 20-year vision, and bring it down into something that you can act on and execute on now. I've never seen anything like it.
And finally, our 6th step, show the action steps for change. Now, this is going to result in one of 2 things that you want to lay out. One is the company's going to do those changes, and it's going to be fantastic. Things are going to be just wonderful is what they're going to be. Or B, the person's not going to do them, and what's going to happen is the suffering and pain will continue onward if you don't do them. Lay out what exactly will happen. So let me show you one of each kind, a good one and a bad one.
What's most important? If you're not dealing with your top 3 priorities first and foremost, if you're a leader and you're not leading your organization to focus on their top and most critical strategic priorities, your organization is dissipating talent, energy, resources, time, and they're not going to be anywhere near as productive or profitable. Your job is always with yourself, with your people, with your clients, to keep the focus on what's most important.
And if you don't hire this guy, the pain is just going to continue is what's going to happen. That's why you got to hire him, because he has the answers to do that. Or it'll be a brand new, wonderful day if you do hire him.
Guide you with insights, tools, and process to help you do that. In fact, I'm going to show you for many of you how you're going to be able to accomplish more in 12 weeks than you did in 12 months. And as outrageous as that sounds, We have thousands and thousands and thousands of people just like you that are doing that. When we engage with a client, whether it's a keynote or whether it's a half day or full day training or train the trainer certification, whatever it is, what we're going to do is we're going to help the audience, the participants, first understand that it's not enough to know. So we've got a vision, we've got a plan, so what? Right? Mike Tyson said, everyone has a plan until they get hit in the mouth. That's my best Mike Tyson. So that's where process control comes in. From there, then we're going to roll up our sleeves and we're going to do a deep dive on a set of disciplines and principles. If you don't have a compelling vision, right, you're not building a business by design. You're not building a life by design. You're doing it by chance. If you've got a vision, but you don't have a tactical plan, and we'll talk about what that is, you've got a pipe dream. If you've got a vision and plan, but you lack the elements of process control, then you're going to have a lot of inconsistency and a lot of frustration. Because some days you're going to execute, some you're not. If those are in play, but you don't have the courage to keep score to measure, then how do you know what's working? How do you make game time adjustments?
So what you got to do is simply follow those 6 steps. So now let me show you some examples now of some videos and watch the full process. Watch these 6 steps play out.
One of the things that sincerely breaks my heart is seeing beautiful talent wasted and an employee feeling like they were unsuccessful, and then an employer feeling like they have wasted their investment because the two didn't know how to bring out the best in themselves.
We know from brain research, and corporate trainers know from their years of experience working with adults, that hands-on learning is the most effective. So one of the first things I like to do is share with you strategies for focus and concentration.
I work with not only the employees sometimes to help them learn how to maximize their talents and their potential, and then also to help their management understand these differences and have very specific targeted strategies that they can employ when they're delivering a message to their employees so that the message is heard, it's understood, and it's implemented with fidelity quickly and effectively.
Sitting down for me is an exercise in futility. I'm up, I'm down, I'm up, I'm down, I'm up, I can't focus. So what I do is I sit with tools that help me to stay focused. A Pilates ball was one of the things in my office. But if you don't like the Pilates ball, there's a tremendous amount of research out right now on standing stations. There are actual research studies that show that employees are more productive and they miss less work and they lose weight when they use a standing station.
So I'm really excited about using the tools. And what's great is she said we can follow up with her, we can ask questions, and really learn more about how to do this.
I'm a believer that, the theory isn't really what my clients want. They want solutions. They want theory behind what I do. When I deliver that information to my clients, I want them to know that their employees or their staff or who's in the audience or even their management will walk away with very specific strategies that they can easily implement tomorrow.
I never share anything on stage from the platform that I haven't tried myself or deeply researched. And do we have any greens? Where are greens? There's a green over there, green. There we got greens. All right, thank you.
She told us what she was going to tell us, why she was telling us what the tactics were, and then how to use them. So that was really, really beneficial for me. So I would recommend her highly.
We're nurturing innovation. We're nurturing the ability for people to bring out the best in themselves in a company instead of feeling like they're forced into this box in which they don't fit. And that is a benefit to everyone.
So when I think about what these things can do for us as business people, it gets us to the point where we can actually create without being hindered by those other obstacles.
So do you notice all the engagement that she did, using all the tools, just running through the steps? And the big thing is that the video stays incredibly focused, not on her. It has really nothing to do with her. It's about her mission to uplift companies and the specific tactics and steps that she's going to show to do that. So it's one of the most powerful parts of this thing. So let me show you now of all the videos that we watched. This was the number one. This was the very best of the hundreds that we looked at. Notice how she incorporates all the elements and she carefully follows the formula.
When you have a screen blocking what makes you so effective at what you do, how can you ensure that you're being heard?
As a salesperson, you're obviously great at communicating in person. So what is it about having a screen that makes clear communication so challenging? We're getting LinkedIn notifications, there's a new app downloaded, ooh, I got another email on Facebook, and our brains are just trying to keep up. How can you translate who you really are authentically in person so that it's reflected behind the screen? You're gonna walk out of here understanding this formula, how it worked for me, my clients, and how you guys can use it literally starting today. When you're typing, tweeting, or texting, how persuasive are you? I help people figure out when they're being their most persuasive self online and how they can do a better job translating that. Becoming digitally persuasive is your ability to reach through the screen between us and our most targeted recipient and make them feel. It makes you stand out, it gets their attention, and it stops the scroll. It just takes understanding the formula for being more persuasive. And that's what I help people understand. Oh, so you're on Tinder. Okay, got it. This is the most important thing. Your first sentence to anyone that you're reaching out to on social, on email, on digital that you don't know has to be personal. Just imagine if every single one of you in here, what if all of a sudden, instead of feeling ignored, you got answers? With every personal, useful, brief message, you begin to attract attention, increase influence, and sell smarter in the modern marketplace, one message at a time. So that's what's possible if you can help your sales organization understand how to become better at translating what makes them so good offline, online. You will see higher engagement, and most of all, you'll get more meetings. You have the ability to evolve your sales strategy to be more powerfully effective in the digital age, to be heard, to attract attention, to increase your influence, and most importantly, to sell smarter in today's modern marketplace. And you can, and after today, you'll know exactly how to do it.
Is that woman on fire with what she's doing or what? I mean, she is so enthusiastic with what she's doing. Let me show you. I hope you hang with me just a few more minutes here. One of the other things that you will notice here is there's some pretty sophisticated music scores that are going on here. That ability to uplift and to bring people in and to accentuate the drama is definitely being done with the music. What they'll do a lot of times, you'll notice here, is there'll be some problem and the music will stop. And then they'll suddenly go, and boom, here's what we did to fix that. So let me just play you this. And on this one, I just want you to watch the music, okay?
Isn't it funny how sometimes we just do stuff, not even thinking about it, and we don't even understand why or what it's providing us? I lived off of Diet Coke, cookies, cakes, and while I looked like the picture of health because I looked athletically fit, I was killing my insides without even knowing it.
So what will happen for people who are on the go 100 miles an hour and trying to keep up with everything in life without taking care of themselves? They're going to be tired and wiped out. They'll probably be a little overweight. And all of those things impact their vibrancy, their customer service, their productivity.
And I thought to myself, what if instead of putting all this energy and investment into learning how to die gracefully, and instead put it all into learning how to live? So we're going to share tips and strategies today without any dieting, because hey, who loves feeling restricted? So this life change is all about making simple choices in life.
So when I go in with corporations and work with their teams,
so that gives you an idea of kind of how the music thing works. What they do is they'll custom score it. And that's what you want to do as well. Go on Upwork and find yourself somebody who can do a composition. Now that can be done by actually scoring the music firsthand, which will cost you a little more. But there's also music packages that you can do and publicly available stuff, and people that just do this kind of stuff on an ongoing basis using existing music packages. They can design something for you that's actually pretty cool. So next thing, use that cover video liberally. You probably saw that. There was a ton of stuff. It's not just people on stage. Probably the dullest part of this thing is going to be you on stage. So what you want to do is don't hesitate to use some cover B-roll video that it shows and demonstrates exactly what that's going to be. Don't be afraid to show your sense of humor. Show them not only that you're knowledgeable, but that you're entertaining. Look for fun things. Have a little music segue that has you doing goofy stuff on stage in some way. It doesn't have to be audio. It can just be done video. Show your vibrancy. Show your energy.
And look at, he's talking to his friend. What'd you say? What'd you say? Of course you were. Like every prom date I ever had, buddy. Let me show you what I'm.
Pretty fun. So also have a logo page. Show them and weave throughout the presentation that I work with big companies. I am a big deal. And then a lot of the other things that you saw there were good audience shots. Now, you want things like people taking down notes, people laughing and smiling, people being serious, head nodding, applauding. All those you can get right off of YouTube and use somebody else's audience is what you can do. So here's the way the process works. Inventory your video. And as you catalog, you want to look for two kinds of video. First of all, short, quick bites for each one of the 6 things. So I need a bite that talks about my problem. I need a bite that shows I'm a big deal. I need a bite that shows I have a specific solution. I need some short bites that have some cute little great solutions that I can do in just a few seconds that will show that my stuff is different and interesting. Then what you also want to do is just go through and just do it with a video run. Where am I demonstrative on stage? Where am I showing action? Where am I fun and invigorated and passionate? Pull all those out. And then finally, the third pass you do on your video is what are the little tiny guffaws and cool, funny moments and things that you can do where you're going, yeah, or things like that will allow you to show that you're enthusiastic. Then after you finish that, what you do for that inventory, and you say, okay, of my 6 things, here are the things that I don't have. And in those, you'll do a mock interview, okay? And in that mock interview, you will say those things that you have holes for, that you haven't said on stage. And by doing this, you'll be able to really pull out exactly all 6 of those points and make your case very specifically. So here are the 6 steps. And if you just follow them, they really will take you down to a path that really does work well.
So drop the mic. Are you dropping the mic there?
Drop the mic.
Very good. I thought it was just like 2 buddies getting on the phone. I got like a